You got it.
All right, guys, welcome to week 8 of the Backpackers Blitz. We got a couple of guys with me today. We are missing Tim. He is still moving to his new home. I forget actually where he told me he was moving to, but he's still in the process of moving, so he's not here tonight. And Chad, I'm not sure where Chad's at. We'll see. He's a no-show tonight, so we'll talk more about that a little bit later on. But with us, we got Spider Fighter, my hiking buddy. He has been backpacking with me for a million years at this point. And of course, my buddy Troy. I just hang out with him because he knows how to smoke some meat. And then Devin is Devin.
I'm having a spa day, and you guys are interrupting it. Honestly,
Devin almost didn't make it. He was going to try to call off tonight and get a spa. I go to the spa, and I said no. You're gonna have to just kill two birds with one stone. So, guys, we're going to talk about some backpacking related stuff tonight. Well, thank you, Devin. There you go. Good deal. So, actually, we're going to start with you, Devin. So, Devin's been doing his little live stream things and some videos on his Instagram page, more about photography. So, I'm going to give him a little time to talk about that. And we'll start with that, and then we'll get over to whatever Preston's trying to show. That's all of our friends right there.
Yep.
All right, tell us about your new project you got going there, Devin.
Yeah, so I've started something called Life Behind the Lens. You can check it out on my Instagram as well as actually on my YouTube. I've uploaded the first episode on there anyways, where I take photographers and I interview them, just kind of see what their favorite picture is and ask them a couple different questions. Because Instagram is no longer prioritizing anyone that actually just posts photos anymore. So I kind of want to promote them a little bit, just because no one's getting any of the engagement that they should be, because there's some awesome photographers out there, and it's a good way to meet new people as well and kind of learn a little bit about them. So I've been enjoying it anyways. So I will be releasing those 3 times a week. So if you want, you can check that out. Follow the people, because there are some, again, wonderful photographers.
Very cool. Preston's also a photographer too. I don't think he posts his work anywhere, but he is a good photographer. Yeah. He's like 6'9". He has a better angle than most of us. So that's you can go shoot with him.
He's a walking drone is what it is then, right?
Yeah, actually, we're going to talk about drones tonight. So, Troy, how's it going, buddy? There's a deer behind you. Can Troy hear me? Can you hear? You got a deer behind you. I just noticed that.
Yeah. Look at that.
You are loud. Let me turn your microphone down here.
I can hear you.
Let me just turn you down just a little
What's
bit.
going on?
No, I got you. I can fix everything for you. I can do everything from over here. We're good to go. Yes, much better. Okay, guys. So anyway, week 9.
We're going to talk about behind me. He's lurking.
A few minutes too late on that one. Okay, so we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about drones since it just came up. Okay, wait. We got a comment right here. Wait a minute. Okay, here's what you got to see. This is from my wife.
I saw that.
My wife is upstairs listening. So if you were paying attention last week, Devin went on a tear. He went on a rampage. Talking people do not change their air filters. Right after the show, my wife made me go. I didn't actually go do it. My wife made me go change it. So I did change the air filter.
Thank you, Kaylee. I appreciate it.
Did anyone else in the chat? Anyone else in the chat change their air filters this week because of Devin? Anybody?
Troy did.
Troy did. Okay. Okay. Let's real quick. We're going around the horn. Who all has a drone? I have a drone. You guys have drones?
I had one and I sold it because it's too windy here.
Too windy. Okay, so I love flying drones, and I used to take it out when I was hiking, and I realized how kind of annoying it might be. Even some places where you're allowed to take it, I kind of stopped taking it. So what are you guys' take on drones, whether you're flying it yourself or if someone else is out there flying it? What do you think about drones out on the trail? It doesn't matter if it's allowed or not allowed. We're not going to talk about that. Should you take a drone out there? Devin?
I think it's fine, honestly. Like, if they're... I don't know. You don't see hundreds of them, flying around all the time and whatnot, buzzing people. Like, if you're doing stuff like that, no, you deserve to get it taken away and get fined or whatever. But I think people flying drones is all right. I mean, that's probably controversial, but I don't really care. It doesn't bother me. There's not hundreds of them. I rarely see them. So, and most people, whenever they do see them, like whenever I've flown mine around, people are like, oh, that's so cool. And I kind of like did a little drive-by because there were some kids and they thought it was awesome. But like, for the most part, I don't really care.
Yeah, there's
bother me too much.
There's a few places around us. There's a place, big waterfall area, and you go up there and there's like these overlooks, and I see people flying their drones up into that all the time. And there's spectators everywhere. In that area, I'm kind of against it. But when you're out there by yourself in the woods and you're flying, basically just trying to get a few nice big wide shots, I don't think it's that big deal either. But I kind of don't really take it. But Hike with Mike here thinks it's an invasion of privacy. That's definitely, you can make that argument for sure.
Yep, that's understandable.
Yeah, and when there's people around, I'm not a fan of it. If you're by yourself, I'm kind of okay with it, but I don't do it anymore. You never really know who's around. So. Preston, you don't have a drone?
I do not. I know a guy.
You know a guy.
That's you. Personally, I think they're noisy little buggers.
That's true.
But I don't really deal with them. The only time I see them around is when I'm out like metal detecting and somebody's in the town and they got a brand new one and they want to do town photos. But
that reminds me, actually, I just thought of something. I took the drone to your house and I was flying at your house. You said, hey, fly over to my brother's house. So I flew to Preston's brother's house and I'm coming down the house. His brother comes outside with a shotgun. Isn't that true? Is that what he did?
He wanted to. Yeah.
If I remember that right, I think he got on the phone. He was talking about getting his gun out. And so he didn't think it was as funny as we were. Okay. Yeah, flying over private property, it gets a little tricky for sure.
I know. What was it? A couple years ago or something? I don't know. The state game lands were trying to block people from like doing that stuff on the trails. And
yeah, in Pennsylvania, you still can't. You can launch from outside the game lands and fly over, but you can't launch from the game lands.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Look up what rule number 7 is.
I'm not sure what rule number 7 is.
Don't be obnoxious. Is that what it is? Minimum impact, I believe. Be considerate of others. And so that actually kind of goes to the fact of, does it actually bother other people? And some people are going to be bothered, but some people are just bothered by everything. And that's not to say being bothered by a drone is not understandable, because they are really noisy. Loud. And and I do agree with Mike of the fact of they can be an invasion of privacy. That's kind of, drones are weird when it comes to like laws because they're aircraft, and so like you obviously you can't shoot them down even if they're over your property, because you will get a hefty federal fine because it is in an airspace and everything else. I watched the video of someone who was flying. They made one and retrofitted it so they could actually fly on it. And then he was flying it above the road, and then he put it on the ground for a red light. And apparently he got fined because he landed in an aircraft on a highway or on a road. And it's like, oh yeah, I didn't realize, but at the time, yeah, that's not a great idea. So I don't know. They need to fix the laws to kind of explain things away, because I don't think they should be necessarily classified as an airplane or whatnot. But at the same time, like,
I fly RC airplanes, I fly drones, and I don't. Well, this is actually right here, so don't screw up for everyone else. So that's true.
Yeah.
If I'm by myself,
Yeah,
I fly. If there's people in the area, I don't fly, because I don't want to be, because this guy's the same guy. It could be worse than a Bluetooth speaker, absolutely. So just don't ruin for everybody else.
Is there even a way to quiet down a drone? And it's kind of funny you mentioned this. My daughter's a pilot, and she was doing a test today to progress through her process of becoming a commercial pilot. And she was in a room today with a guy trying to get his drone pilot license. She passed. He did not. So it is a legit thing. It's pretty insane.
I took the practice test and I failed miserably, so I never even bothered to try to take the real test. It ain't worth it to me. I don't do any commercially anyway.
So I have my license in Canada. I don't have my advanced. The advanced one in Canada is wild. So in Canada, you have to do, it's like a week-long course, and at the end of it, you are essentially a pilot minus flight time. So
does any of that involve getting a facial? I keep looking at your face.
Yes, it does actually. Thank you. I will go. I have to go and watch this eventually because it's like tightening up.
No. You have to leave it on the whole time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Send me a photo after we're done. Okay, we are going to bring in one of our guests before we get to the next question. So we'll bring in.
Hey, you want Parker to chime in? She's watching us on chat about drones.
Oh yeah, have her click this link. Hold on a second. Wait, I apologize, man. Hang in there. Have her click this link so she can jump in with us. So Wade, where are you from? What's your name? Oh, your name's Wade. We already know that part.
Wade, what's your name?
We can see you and hear you.
Wow, that's so funny. I'm from Portland, Oregon, but I'm living in Mexico right now.
Nice.
Yeah, we got these hammocks in the wall. Pretty cool.
How cool is that?
Yeah, every house here has hammocks.
That's awesome.
What are you doing down there right now?
People just sleep in hammocks. I'm in the Yucatan. Pretty wild.
So what are you doing down there right now?
I'm in school and training for some goals this summer, but I'm in school studying.
What are you going to school for?
Literature.
Okay, well, I don't know nothing about that, so we're going to move on. so we're going to ask you. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I actually, where I lived last, I put in some eye bolts and hung up my hammock inside my bedroom as well, because it's just comfy to sleep in my hammock. So,
Did you do that into wood? I was wondering.
Yeah.
About. Okay.
Yeah, right into. You have to obviously put it into the stud, but those eye bolts will hold a lot.
Sweet. I have one question. If you were to buy a fast pack with a running vest, where would you buy it?
I would check on garagegrowngear.com.
There you go. Yeah, we don't make nothing like that. I'm 52 and fat. I ain't running nowhere, so I got no one's tested on. So definitely go check out Garage Grown Gear. They treat us pretty good. I think
there's the fast Kumo or something like that on there by Gossamer Gear. There's another one, I think by Alien something. It seemed pretty cool as well.
Sweet.
I can't remember.
Thanks, guys.
I would look up those ones.
Okay, so wait up. Okay. Is Parker driving right now?
I think.
Yeah, I just landed and I'm driving home right now.
Okay, we got a couple questions for the drone drone test, and then we'll get you out of here so you don't kill somebody when you're.
I'm almost done. We're good.
You're a pilot and you're driving on your phone. Okay, so real quick, drone test. How long did it take you to pass the drone test? How long was the test?
I haven't taken it yet, but I could take it for free since I'm a private pilot. So a lot of the knowledge is about airspace and not breaking any type of rules throughout that. I got to talk to the guy who is taking his test at the same time as me today. So today I took my flight instructor airplane knowledge exam. Oh, Lord. My flight instructor airplane knowledge exam. And he was taking his drone exam. So he actually... he ended up failing, so he bugged out of there pretty quick once he found out he failed. But he actually is a
Hold on, I drive stick too, so this is we're good. So he actually is a police
Hey,
officer.
which airline you gonna fly for?
And he uses, or the SWAT team uses these drones to clear the houses and clear the area before they go in. So he was kind of signed up to take this exam to be a drone pilot. And he said that he didn't have any interest. He was like, oh, I don't want to do this. But once he started learning about drones, he found it to be like really interesting. And I wish I would have talked to him more because I could take it whenever I want. And now I kind of am interested, but I also don't have any drones to fly, but it'd be at least a cool resume builder.
Okay, before you cause an accident, we're gonna let you go. Good talking to you, partner.
Wait, can you guys even hear me?
A little
Barely.
bit.
Wait, I
It's
can
pretty-
hear you.
Yeah, it's getting a little
All
bit echoey. We'll talk to you soon. Dad, I'm gonna kick your daughter off here, okay?
Get off the phone.
There we go. All right. Anyway, so let us know what airline she's flying for, so I can avoid that airline.
Oh, that's cool.
She lives like
Oh.
5 minutes from the airport.
I'm just teasing. It's all good. Okay.
That's cool. I didn't know David Gray was a pilot too. That's cool.
Jeremy, why don't you join us here, man? Click on the chat here and jump in here with us. So, guys, we're going to talk about GPS versus maps next. Okay, so do you use both? Do you use one or do you use the other? I can't read a map, but I always print one out and take it as if it's going to save my life one day. I'm probably just going to burn it for warmth. I won't be able to use it. So, Devin, can you read a map? Do you use a map or just use a GPS?
I can read a map well enough that if I absolutely had to, I could figure it out. I mean, at least by contours and stuff, you can get an okay idea. So usually I have a paper map printed and then just kept in a tiny baggie, and then I just use my phone with All Trails. That's generally what I do.
All Trails is one of the ones we usually go with as well. Preston, do you print your map out? I know you use All Trails, but do you print your map out as well?
No, so you and I have a total of 4 GPSs going on, then plus Troy. So our watches, even though we'd had 5, but you never turned your watch on. So I have the Garmin watch. I have the Garmin, I don't know, 64. And then I have the All Trails on my phone in airplane mode. And then you have your printed map that you never look at. And you always
know what
have
I'm looking at.
where we're at. So
He just, I mean, at 6'9", he just has to stand on his tippy toes so you can see wherever he needs to go.
That's right.
Ben's not any good at, Ben's
So-
not any good at building fires though either. So don't.
No.
So the paper's useless, is what you're saying.
That's where
Yeah,
the
when I-
paper
yes.
map comes into play.
That's right.
Yes.
Kindling. So Preston's nickname is Spider Fighter because he's so freaking tall. We make him walk up front. He knocks down spiders. But actually, what we actually call him, and it's not even a joke, but we actually call him Navigator because he is. Whenever I go with him, I let him handle it because he's so neurotic about it. I know he's going to figure it out. We still get lost 50,000 times, but I know he enjoys it. Doesn't matter if we're driving, if we're hiking. I just let Preston take the way, and then I just follow him. And so we call him Navigator. That really should be.
It's actually funny. This weekend I was in North Carolina and I went with my daughter. We were hiking, and
Nice.
so anyway, so I had to go on some trails that she didn't know that was near her, and I had to go knock down all the webs because every time she got touched by a web, she started doing that girl squeal, and so I'm like, I'll just use my name and knock down all those cobwebs. It was cool though. North Carolina had some pretty decent trails. It was decent.
Yeah, it's
like it.
beautiful in North Carolina.
Very cool. Troy, so I know you're just kind of getting back into it. You're into it before, but now you're getting back into it. When you went with us that last time, did you take anything with you? Did you have the map printed out? Did you have it in your phone? Or you just trusted?
I did
it
have a
okay?
paper map. Now I had a page of the route on a paper map, and I had it laminated, and I
was a waste.
used the All Trails on my phone. So
Okay.
I'm kind of old school, man. I have to have a little map with me.
Good deal. All right. We got a new guy with us. Go ahead, Devin. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think Preston uses the spiders and asks them for directions. Is what's
Yes.
really going on?
Yes.
He has a spidey sense in its directions.
What app did we use? Backcountry? What did Father Mike have us using? Backdoor Country or something?
Onyx, Backcountry,
That's
or
not
not
Backcountry.
Backcountry. It's
I have
Thanks
it on
for
my
laughing,
phone
Greg.
here. Hold on.
Greg got the joke. All right.
I
Well,
didn't
while
know
you're
what you said.
thinking,
Backcountry. That's it.
Backcountry, yes. Okay, Greg, welcome to our little stupid show here. So, Greg, can you hear us okay? Your microphone.
Yeah, I can hear you guys definitely. Especially that I think that app is probably something like a grinder app.
Yes.
He's getting his apps all confused.
Grinder combination. Got it.
Dating and maps.
Oh shoot! All right, Greg. So where are you from, buddy? What do you do?
I'm in Colorado here. I'm retired Army, so I don't do anything right now.
Well, thank you for your
Thank
service.
you for your service,
Yeah,
man.
just finished up the Florida Trail, and 2 days will be a month ago.
Nice.
So this year, I am kind of taking the entire year off so I can go out and hike as much as possible.
That is awesome, man. So
You're in the right
and-
place for it in Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just want to let you know too, you have an order for a Dirty 30 waiting to get fulfilled.
Let me take a look. I can look it up while we're on the phone here, or actually on the thing here. So I'm going to pull that up while we're talking.
Yeah, I
Where-
started using a different brand, a frameless 35-liter pack on the Florida Trail. It kind of crapped out on me, so my wife had to send me one of my other packs down. So I was in the hunt for, a smaller volume frameless, and yeah, ended up going with you.
I appreciate it, man. Since you're on the show, I'll see if I can't bump up your order here. Let me try to find it. So
What?
Greg,
Where you at in Colorado?
Colorado Springs.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
My son lives there.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, I've retired out of Fort Carson, and we just stayed here.
Yeah, nice city.
I hiked a few times in Colorado. There was out Mount Evans, and then we hiked around Estes Park, and then we went to a few other spots and did few miles here and there. We hit a lot of trailheads in about a 4 or 5 day week, and
Yeah, there's so many fantastic hiking opportunities out here. It's almost like you need 2 lifetimes to hit them all.
Yeah.
You've got the Great Sand Dunes down south. They're the tallest sand dunes in the United States here in Colorado. You've got like Black Canyon of the Gunnison, Lost Creek Wilderness. There's so many beautiful places.
Brian wants to know how
Altitude's
the
good for
altitude's
me.
treating you.
Yeah, altitude's just fine.
Good deal. Well, Greg, I did find your order, and I'm going to make a little note on here to try to bump it up a little bit. We just got some more Ultra fabric in, so that should not be
Oh,
a
thanks.
problem.
Thanks. I really appreciate that.
No problem, buddy.
hey, so
Okay.
let me ask you something there, Greg. So I don't know if it was COVID. So I was out there during that time a couple times, and you had to buy passes for the park. Was that a COVID thing, or was that current status also?
No, that's a change that took place up around Estes Park and like Maroon Bells and everything, because you get so many people coming there from Denver, it gets overwhelmed. That's like the closest area for people from Denver to get to the backcountry. So for those guys, it takes them like an hour to get somewhere. Me, 25 minutes and I could be on a trail somewhere. It's so much closer, but that's a change that they made up there to keep it from getting too crowded.
I wasn't a fan of Boulder.
There's so many outdoor
No,
spaces.
I'm not either.
There's so many outdoor spaces around Colorado Springs. You could literally be hiking inside the city. I mean, not right in the city, but like right out around the city. I mean, there are so many outdoor areas and trails and things that just it's crazy. It's so much fun.
Well, we've got one. Palmer Park has a great trail system, and it is right inside the city.
Yeah.
And when you get back in some of those trails and everything, you wouldn't even know it.
Right.
Because it's just the opportunities here are just fantastic.
Well, Greg, we're going to ask you a question real quick. Since we're talking about getting around and hiking stuff, do you use a GPS? Do you use a map? Do you use both? Are you a real man? You just go out there and just figure your crap out? What do you do?
Look at the sun and the moon and the stars.
Yeah, that's navigate by the stars. No, I used to occasionally I would take a paper map. I really don't do that anymore. A lot of places I go here locally I know very well. Onyx Backcountry is one that I use. I got burned by All Trails a few times, and I've sworn that off. I can't stand that app. But yeah, there's and I'll use my a couple apps on my computer here for planning purposes too.
So
Very cool.
real quick about Onyx there. What about All Trails did you not like, and what do you like more about Onyx? Because I currently use All Trails only because that's what I started using, and from then on, I've just kind of continuously been using that one. So, what do you like between the two?
Well, I think Onyx, the actual maps that they use are more updated. What I found with All Trails that they weren't updated. And a few times I went out here and I'm hiking along and I'm like, okay, the trail just goes straight up here, and it turns out to be a series of switchbacks. Water sources, solid blue line water sources were not there. I went to one place that had well-established trails that have been there for decades. They were not even on the map. And that's what I mean. I got burned a few times with it. I think Onyx stays up to date a little bit more. We also have one here in the state. It's called CO Treks. It's specifically Colorado only, and it's a free app from the Department of Wildlife. And I use that a lot around here too.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, for us over here in Pennsylvania, like All Trails has a lot of our smaller local trails are closer to us. I played around with Backcountry. I keep on saying backdoor now. The Preston said it. Backcountry.
Wow. All right.
I know it's stuck in my brain now. Anyway, so All Trails has a lot of smaller trails, but it doesn't get updated that often. There's times I went places and the trail has not been used in years, and you can tell. So it's not updated all that great. There's definitely not enough reviews and stuff like that. People talking on the as much as they do on the Backcountry one. Okay, so
really, okay, so that's actually an interesting thing. So I was wondering about that because All Trails, I like the fact that I can see like all of the people's posts on there. So I'll have to check that out then.
Some trails have people commenting, and it's sometimes just really stupid, like, the trail was muddy, or there was too many trees, or just there's some dumb comments too. Okay, before we get over to Jeremy, does everybody know Chad from UGQ at this point? Everybody in the chat knows who Chad is, right? So Chad is not here. So anyway, me and Devin, we're talking about Halloween this year, and we're trying to figure out our costumes for Halloween. We both want to go as Chad, and so we've discussed our costumes and found out they're the same costume of Chad from UGQ, and we're going to show you guys the costume right now, and you guys can decide who has the best costume. We're going to do this on the count of three. Ready? One, two, three. Nobody gets it.
Where is he? Where's Chad?
I think they're equally as good.
Okay, so that was a stupid joke. That's the only thing we could come up with earlier. I was gonna make a big thing about Chad is getting his butt implants and still recovering or something.
And my joke
on that last hike.
Yeah, my joke was that my costume this week was gonna be Chad, and I just pushed my chair off the screen, and yep.
I wanted in on that action. Okay, Jeremy, how's it going, buddy?
Good. How are you, man?
Doing pretty good. We had fun last week. Thanks for jumping on again.
Oh, that was fun.
So I'm going to ask you a question, but I erased it. Oh, okay. So GPS or map or both? What do you use?
I usually kept like a copy of a map, at least of the area I'm at, as a backup, but at 99% GPS. You know, I mean, especially driving. Like if I do the off-road thing, it's 100%. You know, Onyx off-road or Onyx backcountry.
Okay, so you use backcountry for hiking, you use off-road for I do have that for my motorcycle. And I have used it, and it's been pretty cool. But I have not used it for hiking yet. So I do a lot of I shouldn't say a lot. I do a little bit of adventure riding. I want to do more this year. Preston, you need to buy a bike. Troy, buy a bike.
No.
Devin, buy a bike and move to the US.
Yes. Okay. There. I was waiting for the invitation. Sorry to my wife. It's gonna happen. I've been Ben invited me. I'm sorry.
Okay. Are there any questions in the chat? I have other questions I can ask. If anybody has any questions in here, Greg, you can hang on as long as you want. Jeremy, you're obviously welcome anytime you want to jump in here. But I'm gonna go through my questions. If you guys have a question you want to jump in the chat and or drop in the chat, we'll ask it. I'm trying to pay attention.
Has anyone read any funny stories as a review on one of the GPS websites? Because I saw one that I was reading reviews of this one hike that I was going to do. And the first comment was like, there's a bear in the area and whatever, it charged us, and they were going on. And then, anyways, about 4 or 5 reviews down, it was, hike was beautiful. Got to watch some girls get chased by a bear. It was hilarious and stuff like that. So it was going on. And anyway, so that was one of the best reviews that I had read. Anyone else?
Well, I don't have a review story, but me and Preston saw, and I can't remember how exactly this went. Preston, you can kind of help me out, but there was like 2 different Dolly Sods Facebook groups, and in one group, this lady was talking about how she found an abandoned campsite, cleaned it up, hiked it out, took pictures. Of course, she was bragging about it. She was bragging and bitching about it, but obviously trying to take credit for it. And like a day later, in the end of the other Dolly Sods, some guy, I don't know if it was a guy or a girl, but I think it was a guy, commented that somebody stole his campsite. Now it almost sounded like it was almost too perfect, like it was planned, because they both posts disappeared within like a few hours of me and Preston finding it. Which one didn't you see it, Preston, or we just talk about it? I forget.
No, you screenshot it and I went and checked it out. I've only seen one abandoned site at Dolly Sods, and it was known abandoned. Was muddy water in the pots, like somebody just ditched it.
I was with you on that one.
I've been there. I went back to ditch my stuff.
I went back 2 weeks later. That same campsite was still there, so I took a GPS coordinates and we sent it when we got back, and they cleaned it up. Okay, so we want to another question. Any questions in the chat? No. Okay.
I don't understand how people can just like ditch their stuff like that. Like I've seen, is it Benny Braden? He would post some, what is it, Smoky Mountain National Park? Some of the places that they do cleanups, people just leave full tents and chairs and everything. It's like, who's just leaving this stuff here? I mean, like littering bothers me so much in general, but to leave massive stuff like that and just abandon it because I don't know, you're in a drunken stupor or something partying is just wild to me.
When I see them and people, I always think they gave up. They're like, listen, I'm going to leave my $100 set up here. I'm going home. I'm not carrying this stuff out. It's not worth it to me. And they don't care about the environment. And that's what they do. I never thought they were some wizard blowing fire at night or anything.
The stupid joke, Preston. Anyway, yeah, the campsite me and Preston found.
Thank you, Brian.
Everything was there. Literally everything was still there. I mean, we're talking the sleeping bags, tents, all the cooking gear. Everything was just laid out. I mean, the entire setup was still there, but it was kind of torn up a little bit. You could tell it had been there for a little while. Okay, so before we get to the next question, who does hiking? I hike in the wintertime. Anyone else hike in the winter when it gets cold? Anyone else? Greg does. Jeremy does. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. I keep knocking my screen off. What do you change in your pack, or do you change your pack? What do you change from summertime to wintertime? What all do you change? I'll go real quick. Obviously, you change your sleeping bag, and I'd take one extra like shirt, and I always take my rain gear in the wintertime because I use that as a layer of warmth as well. I usually keep the same tent. I don't switch out my tent. So usually it's my quilt and my rain gear and maybe an extra layer of clothing, maybe. So Devin, it's always cold where the heck you are, isn't it?
Yeah,
what's
so
temperature
it's always winter camping in Canada. Always just 24/7, 360.
So it switches from a 0-degree quilt to a 5-degree quilt.
No, actually, it was 20 Celsius, I think, today, which is like 72, something like that today. So it was beautiful. I do live in a desert, so I mean, we do get some warm temperatures. I actually usually switch out to, in Canada, it's just called camping.
That new guy, Brian.
That new guy is pretty good. I like him. We should keep him around. Yeah, I actually switched to my hammock. Not that I don't take my hammock necessarily in the summertime, but it's so much easier to stay warmer, I find, in a hammock, just because I don't know. I use my Superior Gear hammock, not my Majestic hammock yet. I'm sorry, Corey, who's not even here, so he doesn't even know.
I think Corey's on vacation.
Oh yeah, he's at HangCon in Europe or something like that.
He took some big trips someplace.
Thank you,
I love
Brian.
it. I love it. So if you don't understand the joke, Brian was on the show one week, and then the very next week he's on the show again. And I said, hey, I introduced him again like I'd never met him before.
I have a terrible memory too, so I don't.
But what made it even worse is I've known Brian's name because I keep seeing it pop up, and whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, it pops up all the time. So I would see him. He was on some of our live streams at the shop too, and I always comment. So between the time he was actually on the show to the next week, all week long, I'm like, Brian, jump in the show this week, for the first time, not realizing he was already on the show. So they all busted my balls about that. So I'm getting old. What am I gonna do? Preston, what do you do differently in the wintertime?
not go with you. I went once. Ben lied to me. He did me dirty. And
he's like, what do you think this 50 degrees good enough? It's gonna be like 20.
Same story. He always does him dirty.
Right? Oh, he did.
No, I think my exact response was, "You won't die." I think that's what I told you.
And I was like, good enough for me. Great idea.
He was so
then it
mad.
ended up being, I tell you what, it was, I'm a worrywart when I hike. Ben knows that. So I always overpack. And because I knew that he was doing me dirty, I did pack extra layers. And that is actually what was the worst part, because I'm big and fat and I couldn't move very well. So I was like restricted, and it was that was miserable. Then we woke up with like 2 inches of snow on, and your brother was like a lethargic baby.
My brother had the best response, and have us all on video, by the way. So I even got Preston. He came out, I was 10th that morning. I asked him how his night went, and you have to watch the video. It was pretty funny. But when I asked my brother, and I said, "How'd you sleep last night?" He goes, "Again, there's snow on the ground, and there wasn't no snow the night before." And he says, "I slept like a baby." He said, "If you left that fucking baby out in the snow all night." Sorry for my language. Anyway, all right, Troy. I guess, have you ever winter hiked?
Yeah, I have. It's been a while.
Nice.
But I take like a little puffer jacket. That's the only thing I really changed. Maybe a liner for my bag or something, but nothing really major change. I mean, it's
Well, then we'll move over to Greg then. All right, good story. All right, Greg. Go ahead. Tell us about your winter trips, buddy.
Let's see. Things I change up. Yeah, I'll take micro spikes. Also, I've started taking alcohol stove instead of a canister stove. It just seems to burn a little bit better. But yeah, just, warmer layers and stuff like that. And even around here, I've been out like the 1st of May, and I've woken up the next day with my tank covered in snow. So, and the thing is, this state, you can get all 4 seasons in a single day.
Oh yeah.
So you got to prepare for bad weather all the time.
I did the alcohol stove thing for quite a while, and then I did a trip and I dumped my entire fuel bottle on day 1, and I was so mad. And
I was with you.
I know, yeah, you were. I was so mad. I was like, I think I used your fuel canister after that, but I was like, I'm never doing this again.
You dumped it in the pines up in Dolly Sods. I think it was on fire. I thought we were going to have a whole forest fire. It was horrible.
Okay, we weren't going to talk about that. Jeremy.
So
in the wintertime.
Probably I'm a big layer guy. Like, I like lots of layers because sometimes you need to shed a couple to just to leverage your body heat so you don't sweat a bunch. Probably the biggest thing is I'll trade from my stove that just mounts on top of the canister to a remote stove. That way I can turn the canister upside down. Burns a little better in the cold also. That's probably the biggest change I have, other than adding more insulation, like you guys said.
Yeah.
Well, before
I actually tried, so real quick, for winter camping this past winter when it was like minus 22 Fahrenheit, while we were out there, I brought my heated sweater from work. I have one of the Milwaukee heated sweaters, and I just put it on low all night, and I still had like plenty battery left at the end of the night. It wasn't, I had plenty of layers, but that actually kept me super toasty all night long. And the batteries aren't that heavy. So, I mean, and if you're winter camping and you're worrying about weight, you're doing it wrong to a certain point, because everything's going to be heavier. So, but yeah, if you were to bring like 1 or 2 batteries, I think you'd be good for a couple days, because it was toasty in there. So highly recommend it.
Ben's a weight bully. So I wanted to take my heated vest with me one time, and he made fun of me that I was going to pack.
Why are you listening to him? Like, what? Come on.
I think he just likes misery, likes company. Like, I don't want you being comfortable. Like,
if anybody's ever watching my personal videos on my personal channel, Preston complains the entire time. And every trip, I think this is Preston's last trip. He's never going to come again, but he always does. He always shows up. He makes the funniest part of the video every single time is Preston taking the camera and just walking away. And then I get the camera back, and it's the most hilarious thing I ever heard. Anyway, so he's never going to quit on me. He can't quit.
He definitely brings the comedy. Man, I'm
He
telling
does.
you,
He
I
does.
hiked with him the last time, and it was so funny just listening to him. I mean,
That was a good trip. By the way, Mike, the priest, I sent a message today about joining us one Wednesday night. We're gonna try to get him in here. He hasn't responded yet.
He's busy.
Oh, yeah, he's. I didn't think about that. Anyway, he's probably busy. So we have a friend who's a priest who went hiking with us, and he crushed us all.
He's next one up. He just moved up.
He did.
He got a promotion. That is so wrong.
He's called up.
Okay, we're not going to go too much further on that one. Back to Jeremy. So, what do you do differently when you're doing overlanding as far as your cook setup? What do you do differently there?
Not a lot. So it's weird because I used to carry like a 2-burner stove, and I never really needed that much. So I've used the same single burner stove every time. Just extra insulation's all I need. I mean, and that's one thing you really don't have to worry about, whether, especially kind of like what Greg was saying in Colorado. I mean, you know, you get up into Telluride, some of those high altitude areas. I mean, I was wearing a t-shirt and then put on everything I had 15 minutes later because a storm blew in. So.
Okay, next topic, new topic. We're going to talk about international backpacking. So, have any of you guys ever left the country to go backpacking anywhere? I figured you did. That's why I brought it up. Where did you go?
Me? Oh, I went to the States.
But okay, that's a big area. Which part?
I mostly the Adirondacks, actually. So when I was living in Ontario. So for those of you that don't know Ontario, the mountains in Ontario are non-existent. There's none really. Ontario is pretty flat. It's beautiful in its own regard, but for mountains, my first time ever actually hiking was not hiking, but hiking in the mountains was in the Adirondacks, and it was absolutely beautiful and wonderful. And that's where I met Joe Wilderness. If you guys have ever seen his stuff on Instagram and stuff, or him climbing Mount Kilimanjaro and everything else, awesome guy. So we actually met on a mountain in the Adirondacks, and then found each other on Instagram like half a year later or so. But yeah,
I'm pretty sure Joe was one of the first guys, with at least within the first year probably, of buying one of our food bags. I can remember one of the pictures because it used to hang in our shop. It was a Joe Wilderness food bag. We made a copy of it. We had it hanging. I don't know. Maybe it was still in our basement where I'm at right now. It's when the shop was here. I think we had it hanging on the wall. Then we took it to our first business, and then it disappeared after that. It's no longer at our new shop. But anyway,
did you finally send it out to him? Is that what happened? Or
well, no, I gave him one. I made a copy. You're scaring Greg now. He's like this stuff.
Greg, we're gonna bump that up for you, and it's gonna hang right here, taunting you the entire time.
Oh, you know what? I wanted to bring a couple of backpacks actually, because I want to talk about those upcycled fabric backpacks we're making. I don't have anything.
He'll just torture me and just have it hanging up behind him week after week, and he's like, "It's still here."
Yeah, I'm gonna mount it back there. I'm just gonna have it get closer and closer to the camera every week, just a little bit closer.
I went to Puerto Rico hiking.
Did you?
Nice.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
So, well, we took a cruise to Playa, I don't know, Playa Day something, and it was just a day thing, and kind of like Carnival Cruise has like a port, like they own their own beach, and I heard that it had pretty sucky reviews. So me and my cousin, we decided that we were just going to bail and go hike, and it's pretty scary. So there's people wielding machetes clearing out the roads, and it was probably about 2 miles in. I decided this was a bad idea, so we circled back. We hung out at the pool, but I did have my Hilltops pack on though.
Yeah, you mentioned someone. You said you talked to somebody about it down there.
Yeah. This weekend I had a couple people compliment me on it, and I'm like, you don't want this bag.
So I love talking about Preston, but he's benefited from this company just like I have. So from the very beginning, I've always made a pack for him, pack for me. It's just something we always did. Every time I make him one, he complains about the color. He doesn't complain about anything else. He's like, that's not the blue I wanted. I'm like, what?
I love blue. Look, there's my watch. I love blue. And you only made me two, and you made me give the first one back. I had the very first one.
I made a shrine for it. It's at our shop now. It's hanging on the wall alongside my first backpack too. So it's back there already. So anyway, Jeremy, did you ever leave the country?
Only Canada. So
Canada.
that I know
That counts. It counts.
Yeah.
That doesn't really
Yeah.
count.
Usually on
So-
fishing trips, we do some hiking around or something like that, but nothing backpacking wise.
Okay, we're gonna go back around again one more time. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to, like, if you're gonna leave the country, where would you go? Like I would like to go to Canada somewhere. I don't know where yet, and maybe go hang out with Devin for a little
Yeah,
bit.
you got to come up here, and I will take you through Alberta and BC. Man, it is so beautiful up here. Honestly,
That is the plan at some point. That's where I will. I'm not really. I don't have like a bucket list. I don't really care where I go. I just like different cool experiences. I just invite me someplace. I'm probably going to say yes, and I'll go if I have the schedule to pull it off. So Devin's
good
invited me
next
like
week,
18
or-
times. Well, my schedule's still a little tight right now, but hopefully next year sometime I can start freeing up some time. My wedding photography business is still keeping me a little bit too busy. Weekends.
So Mark is actually giving my answer here in New Zealand. Like, so if I could hike any trail, it would be the Te Aurora or something that goes all the way across New Zealand, or at least the main island. So that would be my go-to. Probably with Mark if he could make it, but
I see how you are. I'm gonna come to Canada, and like he's in New Zealand. He's not here anymore.
Although the Colorado Trail is also on my list for if I ever get the chance to take that much time off work and just hike, it will probably end up being the Colorado Trail, just because it seems to be more realistic for me doing it.
Okay, Troy, where do you want to go out of the country? You got a place you want to go?
I would like to go to Canada as well. I've always wanted to visit Canada. And
let's go at the same time.
Yeah, we
should. Troy, if you
Devin's
actually show up, I'll take you over Ben if I have to, because I keep inviting Ben, and as long as you bring some brisket, honestly, it's all good.
There you go.
Well, we may. Brisket.
Okay, Greg, where do you want to go, buddy? You got a plan? You're gonna go someplace out of the country?
Yeah, I'd like to do the Scottish National Trail.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah,
Very cool.
that I think that would be a lot of fun. The other thing is there's actually a loch and a castle there. It's Castle Morton. So I want to go and reclaim my ancestral home and kick them out. But yeah, Scottish National Trail, I think would be a blast. And Devin, you make it out to Colorado. My Instagram and YouTube, it's the same username. Hit me up. Whatever you need. Need a ride, need some trail magic, whatever. I'm there for you.
What's your name on here, Greg?
It's just Greg Gordon Outdoors.
Okay.
Yep. But you have to wear that outfit.
I'll do it.
Hey, Greg, when you get a chance, Greg, type in a link to your YouTube channel in the chat there, if you don't mind. I'll copy it too. I'll watch a little bit of it. So, and if anyone else has a YouTube channel, feel free to go ahead and post your link in there. I'm going to copy some links over. I like watching YouTube videos while I work, or at least listen to them throughout the week.
I don't want to explain how YouTube works, but if someone comments, you can actually click and you can't. They changed it.
I can't do
Never
that.
Mind, ignore me.
Thank you. Worry about your facial.
I will.
I can't see. I can copy the links over, but I can't click anybody's profile from here. I can do it on my phone.
To do that. That's weird.
You can do it on your phone.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I have my whole setup here. I can copy links over, so feel free to jump in there. Okay. I think everybody answered the question, correct? Okay.
Not me.
Yeah, you skipped over Preston.
I'm so sorry. Preston, where do you want to go? And can you go there now?
Antarctica.
Really?
No.
There's no spider webs in Antarctica.
So bucket list, maybe Ireland, something like that.
Ooh,
or but realistically, I really would like to do that South Dakota Mount Rushmore trail with Tim to overlook Mount Rushmore across. That is probably about the most realistic bucket lister for me. That in Crucible Hill, which I did yesterday, Ben, and you're nuts.
So what he's talking about is Crucible Hill. It's where we grew up. And it's this really big, massive hill. And I lived in the middle of it. Preston lived up at the top of it. And we'd ride our skateboards down it. Well, I would ride the whole way down.
You did. Not me, bud. And I kept thinking, you are a knucklehead for doing this.
So one of our other friends, Justin, did it halfway up. And he fell so hard. His skin, he ate it. The top of his watch got sheared, like grinded off of his watch, like gone.
Listen, this hill, I did it yesterday. Took me 11 minutes to walk up. And it was a fast pace, 11 minutes. and you can't move left or right, and man, there's trucks going up and down that, and it was a bad idea. It was just bad.
We'll have to do a live stream on old skateboarding trips.
Was that like 15 steps or so up the hill for you?
It's a big hill. It's a long road.
And it's steep.
Yeah.
It's
great.
nice.
And at the bottom, there's always this little kind of dip. If you're going fast enough, it would just take you right off your board if you weren't careful. So that's everybody ate it. Okay. Moving on from there. You guys want to hear about that. Okay, so we're going to talk about packing like a pro. We're going to talk about something you guys did early on or do now to where you can easily cut some weight, or where you cut the most weight initially, or just something you were doing wrong. And in my case, I used to take too much food, and I would pack way too much food, and I would save pounds when I finally realized I don't need all this extra food. I'd always stop at the convenience store on the way out to the trail thinking I need more snacks. We still do it to this day. We always stop at a convenience store right before we get to the trailhead, and I buy more crap that I know I don't need. And I'm not even that hungry. I stuff up my fanny pack or my backpack. So I try to be careful with the food. That's my biggest go-to when I'm trying to shave off a little bit extra weight. Devin, what's your biggest advice when you're trying to shave a few pounds?
Yeah, don't take your full towel. I mean, it makes the facial a little bit harder, and getting your hair just right. But honestly, I think I had mine pretty dialed in when I started actually doing like overnight backpacking trips. But one thing is,
born a pro.
No, I did like a stupid amount of research into everything, because if I'm going to like get into something, I'm going to get into something, and I research everything. But you don't need a million stuff sacks, everyone. You don't need them.
Wait a minute.
Don't talk to Ben. No.
You need red ones.
Hold up.
Green ones. You need
hold up. There is a difference between, like, first of all, your battery organizer is genius. That is a wonderful idea. Like, the fact that your food bags are waterproof has saved my stuff, because like I don't use one for my quilt, for example. I stuffed that at the bottom, and a beer exploded somehow inside my bag, and it went into the food bag, and that was it. That was as far as it went. So my stuff didn't get that was actually a winter trip too. So thankfully, that would have sucked a lot. But I don't know. That's kind of it. Having like a ditty bag with all your stuff, and then having like some small organizing is one thing, but like having stuff sack after stuff sack is kind of over the top.
Shush it. You're gonna put me out of business. All right, Preston. So I'm gonna answer for Preston already. So where he has saved some weight over the years, has gotten a little bit better, but has a long way to go. Packs way too many clothes, takes too much food, takes too much water. Am I right?
Yep.
I think I did better on the clothes. I mean,
you're better with the clothes now. Well, it saved us the one time we found those missing hikers. Your extra clothes helped out.
Yes.
But he's a freak about water. You take way too much water. You're a freak. You have to have 8 gallons of water on you. And we keep hiking along the river. He has 8 gallons of water. He's like, this river's going to dry up.
Yes. But you know what? Yes, you're right with the clothes. I'll never change my mind about the water. Dolly Sods is dry. For as soaking wet as that place is, you can't find water. It's crazy. Snacks. So I've never been on a trail long enough to go hungry. So I always pack for days, and I'm only gone for a couple. So I need to do better about food.
You've come a long way, though. I think our very first trip together, we were both like in the mid 40s as far as weight, like 40 pounds. Yeah,
that was ugly.
We packed a lot of fears early on, but we realized pretty quickly we were packing way too much stuff.
Yeah, you're not going to starve. I don't know what
most people struggle with food.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to judge it. Right? I'm big and fat. I don't know when I'm going to get craved.
When you get out there too, you don't know, like if you're having a really tough like hiking day as well, like you're sometimes like starving, but other times you're like, I really don't want that much at the end of the day. So I usually have lots of food.
I have not been, I don't remember a trip that I was starving. I do not. But I think Ben and I's longest trip was like maybe 3 or 3.5 days. That was it. And that's the weekend he almost caught the woods on fire with his alcohol.
Okay, Troy. So you're just kind of getting back into it. We went through all your gear. What are some of the things? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna let you go.
Before I met Ben, I I'd say my pack was probably like 40, mid 40s. And that was a while ago, man. I used to pack all my fears in that thing, man. But, you know, after meeting Ben and Preston, they, like Preston said, he's a weight bully, man. Ben is. And he went through my pack. They got it down to, I think it was like 20, 22
Then I threw your pack
I
out
think.
and we made a new pack.
I think it was 17 pounds before I even added water and food. So after I got added the food, and I'm a big snacker. I love to snack. So I'm like, you got to have all kinds of snacks. And I think I packed probably more snacks than what I needed. But I think I was packing around 22, 23 pounds, I think, the last trip. So
you're more than that, Chief. I think you packed a food truck with you.
I had a lot of food, but
you had to bring the smoker. Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I learned a lot, man. I learned a lot.
All right, Greg, we're going to move over to you. So what's one thing that maybe you occasionally overpack with? You got to say, okay, I have to go back and cut that out. Or maybe it's advice you give to someone else that you see your friends always making all the time. What is something your go-to weight cutting thing?
You know, starting off, it was getting better gear, getting lighter gear. You know, come out of the Army with a 60-pound rucksack, you know, that was like no big deal. And then I realized, well, you don't have to suffer when you backpack.
This can be enjoyable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't have to wear boots. What? So, you know, getting lighter gear. Ben, I'm the same. I mean, I've got probably close to like 5,000 miles of through hiking, and I still overpack on food.
I think it's a go-to for most people. Yeah, I think a lot of people do that same thing.
So cutting back on food is one for me. And actually on this last one, I've always had the mindset of I must have 1 liter on each side of my pack, you know, the symmetry thing. But I ended up losing one of my water bottles in Bradford Bay. So I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be lopsided. But then I realized, wow, I don't need to have 2 full bottles all the time. I'm walking through a freaking swamp. I got water everywhere. So yeah, that was one thing that most recently I changed was, yeah, I don't need to have 2-liter bottles. If I need more water, I've got my CNOC bag. I can fill that up with some.
Well, Preston walks around with 2 water bottles on either side. He has the Canuck bag strapped to the top. He's carrying his life straw, sucking from puddles every time he walks by one. And so he's
only did that once, and that saved us because you thought there was going to be water on top of a mountain in the middle of the drought.
he did save us. I had no water. I was going to die.
He was literally on his knees drinking puddles out of I don't know. They were like a half-inch deep on a mountain crevice.
I found this rocky range of rocks everywhere, and I looked out like in the middle of it. First of all, there's rattlesnakes everywhere, and I found these tiny little puddles of water, like just a little bit, and I filled up a whole bottle using like 20 of those things, and it worked. You know? I didn't die. I almost got bit by a snake, but you know, anyway, that's another story.
So I moved out to the desert here 2 years ago, and I still have yet to see a rattlesnake, and I'm kind of upset about that.
We've actually only seen a couple. We haven't seen a lot. I've heard more than I've seen.
I have yet to hear one, and I'm really upset. Sorry. Yeah. Continue.
No, down in Dolly Sods, like there's so many rock crevices everywhere, and sometimes you're walking down the trail, you can kind of hear them, and sometimes it's more than one. Like you'll hear it come from a little area over here, and you can't always see them. There's been a few times they'll be out there laying in the sun on a rock, but you don't see as much as you think. I mean, they're everywhere down there, but you don't see them that often. Of course, I don't really know.
Peed on that one.
No wonder it almost bit you.
It was a garter snake. He was like, "Oh my God, I'm peeing on a snake."
So usually I joke around like, "Oh my God, look at this big snake over here." I actually did pee on a snake. It freaked me the heck out.
It probably freaked him out too, honestly.
There's an R. Kelly joke in there someplace, but I couldn't figure it out. So.
I only came across one snake that I was unprepared for. So we were at Dolly Sods. Ben and I go to Dolly Sods like a lot, and we were walking down this trail, and we were talking. And I had my buddy with me too, and this little green. I'm definitely afraid of a snake. Listen, there's no difference between a garter snake and a 25-foot anaconda. I will react to a snake. And I was walking, and this bright green snake, maybe a foot long, came slithering out of the grass. I squealed like a girl, and I was gone. And then, but I didn't know what it was, so I had to wait for like 3 days to get signal to figure out what are the native species to dolly sods, what type. And it was just a normal little green snake, kind of rare, but it didn't need to be where I was. That's all I gotta say.
Troy, didn't you just see a snake at your house?
Yeah.
You saw
it's a black rat snake. It's pretty big. It was like 5 feet long, man. Thing.
And you killed it.
I don't like them, but I'm not going to hurt that one. It catches a lot of. It was fat, man. It must have been feeding too, because it was big. I mean, it was a big mature snake. That's for sure.
All right, so Jeremy, over to you. So, what is one thing that you tend to still overpack all the time? You have to go back, like, okay, I got to cut this out.
He actually takes all things outdoors. That's his problem. Is everything. He packs everything.
Everything.
Yeah, probably food. I'd say food. I did cut out snacks because I half the time wouldn't eat them. I think kind of to what everybody else says, sometimes you don't really get as hungry when you're hiking on trail. I mean, the biggest thing I did to cut weight was if I didn't use it, I never packed it the next time. Like, just throw it out. Like, quit carrying things that you're not using. And I forced myself down to a smaller pack. I went down from like a 70 liter to a ULA Photon, which is like 32 liters or something like that. And that just made me think about what I'm packing and what I have to take. And it's like, okay, if it doesn't fit in this pack, I'm not taking it.
That does work too. So I've actually done that with some packs. I have a 24-liter pack you make, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a trip with this pack.
Nice.
And I can do it, but I do take a bigger pillow, an actual pillow that I made that has actual stuffing in it instead of an inflatable pillow. I can't take that with that 24-liter pack. It's the one thing it has to go. I have to use an inflatable pillow, which sucks. But if you get a smaller pack and just force yourself to try to figure it out. And I'm not that big of a Nazi about the whole thing. I like taking a chair. But I want to take things that are going to make me have more fun. Yeah.
Shut your filthy mouth. You're lying. You're dead. Don't do that.
The truth comes out.
Well, when it comes, oh, sorry. No, I was gonna say, when it comes down to it, I think the longest trip I did with that pack was Wind River Range for 4 days, and I had to have a bear canister. So, I mean, it's possible, maybe strapped on top or something, but you just really have to think about what you're taking.
Well, guys, we are right about an hour. How about we just go around there again? Everybody can talk about where everybody can find you. So, Devin, obviously Instagram, but if you guys want to talk about where people can find you, where they can follow you, and we'll wrap up here shortly. If you guys in the chat have any more questions, we can still run through a few more if you have one. Devin, I'll let you go first.
My name is Devin Salmon. You can find me on Instagram at Salmon Outdoors. I am a photographer in Alberta, Canada, and at the spot today. So,
did you makeup tutorials and
makeup tutorials? My wife was like, "I'm trying not to get it in your beard. I'm sorry," and it was good times. I do want to actually showcase this really quick again. Just Loafer getting chased through the woods by his own bootlace. So
that is great. You see these videos where people like tie a snake to someone's like pant leg. And
those are so good.
That looks so amazing, but I'm afraid I would give somebody a heart attack. Like I want to do that so bad to Preston. He would definitely hurt himself.
I will throat punch you so hard.
I love all the videos of the guys in the Midwest, like Miyagi and all them, and they're like putting rocks in each other's backpacks and just doing whatever they can to mess with each other. So good.
Yeah, I don't know if I can get away with that. Amy,
Ben
who works
takes a scale with them on the woods.
So this has nothing to do with backpacking at all. But if any of you guys watch any of our videos, you see Amy, who's our general manager at Hilltop Pack. So Amy works for Hilltop, but she also works for a photography studio as well. We were doing some dance pictures, and she was behind me. I'm taking the pictures, and she's taking all the orders from all the dance moms, and I'm taking pictures of the kids and everything. And Amy is putting something on my shirt, and I can feel it. Plus, there's mirrors everywhere. We're in a dance studio. She doesn't know I can see her, so I just let it go. And then when she's not paying attention, I had a whole bag of pretzels. I put them in her purse. I dumped a whole bag of pretzels in the bottom of her purse, pulled all of her crap and put it on top so she did not notice the pretzels. The very next day, she's giggling, she's laughing, and she's telling all the girls that she put this thing on the back of my shirt, and I never knew about it. And I turned around, I was like, "You ever look inside your purse?" And that's, so I was trying to get Amy on here tonight. But anyway, I filled up her whole purse full of pretzels. They were in there for a whole day. She never even knew about it. So you can't get me. You can't get me. I will get you back. I'm not sure where that story was going, but there we go.
Preston,
Preston.
Where can they find you? If they can.
Right
Don't
here.
come looking for me. Right there.
As a technology guy, I'm off grid. I don't have anything.
He's
I'm
an
on
IT
Ben's
guy.
channel when we go hiking.
He's an IT guy at a high school.
Nice.
He sees all the weird things kids are trying to look up on their laptops, and he
There's some
calls them
jacked
down the
up
office.
stuff, but it's
Kids are weird. Kids are weird.
It's
I get to hear some of the stories.
it's not right.
Troy, where can everybody find you at, buddy?
Yeah, we're at What's Smoking Barbecue. That's on Facebook and Instagram. Or my name, Troy Helen, on Facebook. You can find
him Friday nights at RGB
Friday
outside
nights
with the
at
food
RGB.
truck. That's right.
Yeah.
That's where I'll be. Corey, where can everybody find you at, buddy? Corey, you're up.
Corey.
Not Corey. Jeez, Greg.
Greg.
Oh, you can find me at Corey at
I made a
majestic hammock.
I made a note where Corey was this week. You guys said Corey was on vacation, so I wrote it down on that piece of paper. I just looked at it and said Corey. What the hell am I thinking?
Yeah, no, Greg
I
Morton
wrote that down.
Outdoors. Greg Morton Outdoors, either on YouTube or Instagram. Got a decent amount of videos posted for YouTube. But if you guys have any questions about any like Colorado hiking around here, any trails or anything, I might have already done them, especially the major ones. So hit me up.
Nice. I'm gonna be looking at it tonight. Jeremy, nobody cares. Moving on. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
That's what YouTube doesn't. That's for sure. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm the hidden YouTuber, I guess. All things outdoors on YouTube, and then just Instagram ATOD_16. So 2 places you can find me, and also Campfire Cat Holes on YouTube. I'm also doing a live stream with those guys.
And you're always
cat hole.
Yeah,
Campfire Cat Holes. Yeah.
So is it a podcast or just a live stream? What do you guys do?
They'll put it out when Chris gets around to it. He'll put it out on all the other platforms, but we usually just do the live stream. Then eventually it'll make it to Spotify and everything else.
And Jim, you're also one of those guys who has hiked with almost everybody that I know. And I've never hiked with you myself, and hopefully we figure that out one day. But like, you have hiked with a lot of YouTubers that I'm in contact with, and everybody seems to know you. Just do some name dropping. Who are some guys you've hiked with recently?
Oh gosh, well, David Gray, Jason, backpacking with Jason, Jeremiah Stringer, John Kelly, Restless Outdoors. I mean, the list goes on forever. But honestly, that's from a lot of these meetups that we used to do back in the day, and you just kind of developed a network, and a lot of people worked really hard on their channels and had a lot of success, and you get to watch them grow, and it's pretty cool to get to meet them and see what they do.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Anything else you guys want to throw in there before we end it right there? Last chance. Going once. No, that's it.
Brian, welcome to the show for the first time. Where can people find you?
Well, it's really nice to meet you guys for the first time ever. Big fan of Ben's.
I didn't even know he was in there. How did I not see him down there? How long has he been?
I just noticed him.
Ben and Chad
I'm so
McMillan.
sorry.
I've been looking for you guys.
I'm so sorry. I didn't even notice you down there. Actually, let's do this real quick. I'm going to show you guys the project I'm working on at Hilltop. So give me a second here.
Goodbye, Brian.
Oh, hold on.
Goodbye.
That's not what I meant to do. Let's see. Can I get my screen?
Probably not.
Why is it not?
There you go.
Okay, that's me, my wife. Okay, let's go over to the blog. I'm going to show you guys this thing we're working on. This Good Humans Regear project. So you don't have to read this, but we're working on this backpack, and we're going to make a couple of different products at Hilltop, but we're using upcycled fabrics, and this fabric is actually from our coffee roastery. So the beans come in from all over the world. They go to our importer. That importer then kind of breaks it down to smaller bags, these 65-pound bags. We break those bags up. We're actually making backpacking gear out of it. We're not ready to release it just yet, but it's something we're working on. If you want to read about it, you can go to our website and click on the blog. It'll tell you all about it. So that's all I have to say about that. But it is a pretty cool project we're working on, and Brian's going to buy one here pretty soon. Right, Brian?
Absolutely. How's the search for material coming?
Pretty good. So there's a couple different things we're working on. The lighter stuff, like backpacking related stuff, it's all going to be the coffee industry, like the beans and stuff like that. I've contacted a bunch of the coffee roasteries because we have a small one, and maybe we could make a handful of bags. But I've been contacted with some others that's pretty good. But also I connected with a couple of sign companies, like billboard companies, and people that make just vinyl signs. We're gonna make some heavier backpacks, like we're gonna call it our city versions, like to hold your laptop in it and things like that. So working on a couple of cool things. Hopefully it comes out pretty soon, but I'm in no rush to really complete it. We're gonna get a whole line of upcycled fabrics and launch it hopefully midsummer sometime. Maybe before that, we'll see.
So does this bag smell like coffee?
Spray?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brian.
I said, does it repel bear spray?
Nah, Troy. You know what? That bag is still covered in bear spray, Troy. I still have not washed that bag. So if you haven't paid attention to the last stream, Troy set off an entire can of bear spray in my truck, all over my backpack, and Preston cried the whole way home for 4 hours.
Completely unrelated, actually.
Does that bag smell like coffee beans now?
So oddly enough, whenever the raw coffee beans, we roast them once we get them at our roastery. So they just smell like weeds. So it just smells like something out in the woods. It doesn't smell. There's not much of a smell to the bag itself. It doesn't need cleaned or anything. They're already pretty well cleaned. The beans are. But if you use the same type of materials used in like on farms and like feed and things like that too, those ones get a little funky and dirty. We're not going to use those ones. They smell a little weird. In fact, a farmer was trying to get me to take some fertilizer bags. I was like, nope, I ain't touching fertilizer bag. No. Like, you may be used to that smell. I am not. We're not doing that.
This backpack will carry all of your crap.
That's what we're gonna make Preston's bag out of.
Did you try printing on it?
You can print. Yeah, we've printed on this. The new stuff we can print on it. The bags we use for the coffee roastery. Yep, print on it.
Cool.
So you're not going to go with the name Double Double for the backpack that's been recycled and had coffee in it? I mean, that's kind of a Canada joke, but you know.
Yeah, why don't you explain the joke because we didn't get it.
No? Okay. So a Double Double is a coffee with 2 cream and 2 sugar. It's a Canadian thing, I guess.
Is it really?
Americans don't call it that. So
that's simple.
Yeah, if someone wants a Double Double, it's 2 cream, 2 sugar. And I thought it was funny, you know, but all my jokes, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So
that's right. I get about 80% of your jokes. We're good.
I'm glad.
See, now here, especially guys out in California, Double Double is an In-N-Out order.
Ah, okay.
Hamburger.
We don't have those in Canada.
You see, here we just drink our coffee black.
Same here.
Okay, we can't all be. Well,
I thought it was just a fancy word for an upper decker.
I don't know why I invited this guy. All right, guys, we're gonna do it
good
again
night,
next
everybody.
Week, every Wednesday night, 9:00 Eastern time. Make sure you tune in, turn your camera on, join us. Greg, thanks for jumping in with us, buddy, today. Brian, nice meeting you tonight. Finally, for the first time. Yeah. Jeremy, Troy, Spider Fighter, Devin. All right, guys, we'll talk to you soon. See ya.
See y'all.